The stock market, as well as the crypto market, has continued to fall so far in 2022. It has been getting slapped, driven by things such as rising interest rates and rising inflation, and fears that those economic variables are going to keep rising. And this had an impact on my Vanguard Stocks and Shares ISA and my portfolio, and this is what we're going to be going through in today's video. Two things that have happened since my last update. One, I paid myself a dividend from my company and invested part of that into my Vanguard Stocks and Shares ISA. Two, I've now opened up a SIPP with Vanguard as well, so I have another type of account on this platform.
Another one.
We're going to come onto those shortly, but first of all, let's just get straight into my portfolio, and it is not nice viewing.
Call an ambulance for me.
My current Stocks and Shares ISA value is £23,393. Compare that to my cost, my total cost, and the gain, the change, is only positive £231. If we take it back a step and look at my personal rate of return, it's 5.14%. The way that Vanguard actually work out this return is they take into account when you contributed. So, of course, contributions 3 years ago would have probably made more gains than contributions 3 months ago. But if you go back to looking at it in terms of a simple straight line, I've only made £231. For a bit of context, I've been investing into this Stocks and Shares ISA into this same fund for over 3.5 years now, and to only have £231 or a 5% return over that time period is pretty poor. Most of my gains now have been wiped out, but this doesn't concern me at all, and let me tell you why. For a bit more context actually, that rate of return, which is now 5.14%, was up to 50% at some point last year and earlier on in this year when the stock market was doing well. It shows how a few months can really impact your return, but as I said, it doesn't concern me, and this is why. First of all, stock market falls, crashes, corrections, whatever you want to call it, is completely normal, and it's just part of the economic cycle. It happens. Two, these falls are actually good things for me. If I'm going to be investing for the long term, I'd much rather buy stuff at lower prices. I'd much rather invest into the FTSE Global All Cap at a lower price. As you can see, the FTSE Global All Cap makes up 100% of my Stocks and Shares ISA, and this will be the same going forward because I want to be globally diversified and invest into all corners of the world. Third, when I started investing into this Stocks and Shares ISA was around August 2018, and shortly after that the stock market fell by about 20-30%. So I'm very accustomed to being down or in the red. For pretty much my first year of investing into my Stocks and Shares ISA, I was down or in the red. So it doesn't concern me, and I'm going to continue to invest consistently and automatically and regularly every single month. Of course, when I had thousands of pounds worth of gains, it looked good and it was fun making videos on. I'm sure that got more views, but the reality is now a lot of the gains have been wiped out because of economic factors like interest rates, inflation, the war going on between Ukraine and Russia, the cost of living crisis. There's a lot of factors that go into why the stock market and the crypto market have fell. Most of them are out of our control. All we can do is continue to contribute and invest regularly. And as I said, over the long term, I'm not particularly fussed that the price has fallen. To be honest with you, in an ideal world, the market would actually fall 50%.
Bit of a weird analogy.
It wouldn't look good for these updates, but if it fell 50% and I could invest every single month 50% off, I'd make a lot more gains over the long term. If I actually click into the FTSE Global All Cap, my only investment, you can see what I've been buying over the course of the last few years. And the thing is, my contributions really have been skewed towards the last year or so, which is why I think this drop in the stock market recently has wiped out a lot of my gains. When I first started investing, I was only investing £100 a month. It's only really since about October 2021, I've upped it slowly over time, but since about October 2021, I've been investing £650 a month. And as we're going to see, I also invested a 4-figure dividend about a month ago, which all those big contributions which have happened in the last 6 or 7 months have now been dragged down by the market. You could say it's unlucky, you could say it's poor timing, but from my point of view, I don't think you can time the market, which is why I've slowly increased my contributions over time and will continue to do so, and also why I invested the dividend from my company in one lump sum, because I thought it's better to get the money working in the market. In hindsight, I could have just waited to invest that dividend and invest now at lower prices, but as I said, you can't time the market. So my plan going forward is going to be continuing to invest regularly, and the bonus will be, if I have any money left over, I'm now more inclined to invest it because there's lower prices. So to go through the 2 updates I mentioned to my portfolio since my last update, the first one is I paid myself a dividend from my company, Making Money Simple. I used the majority of that dividend to invest it into my Vanguard Stocks and Shares ISA, as you can see on the screen. I invested £4,750 on the 1st of April. You know, I'm not only joke here, clearly, I'm the clown, invested on April Fool's Day, and now the market has fell. But that is a huge investment. That is by far the most I've ever invested in one go. I did think about dollar cost averaging that money in over time, but I wanted to get it all working in the market. At the time, my portfolio was worth about 19-20k, so it was about 25% increase in my portfolio, which is a big increase, which is why I guess I've been more affected, because I invested at a higher price compared to what I could have a year ago or right now. But as I said, it doesn't concern me. You know, even just a few years ago, my total investment portfolio wasn't 5k. So the fact that I invested nearly that in one go, I'm very happy with it. And obviously, hopefully, if Making Money Simple continues to do well, I'll continue to take dividends every year and continue to lump sum invest them into my stocks and shares ISA. I also made a regular contribution on the 20th of April of £650, and I've got another one coming out in May, once again, of £650. If you want me to make a video on the dividend and how much I took, why I took it, what I used it for, and all that stuff, let me know in the comments and I'll be sure to make a video on that. But on the second update now, SIPP. I've now opened a Vanguard SIPP through Vanguard. Of course, this isn't related to my stocks and shares ISA, but I thought it'd be worth mentioning here because that's another new account that I'll now have with Vanguard. So I'll have a stocks and shares ISA and a SIPP, and this excludes my workplace pension, which I have through my company that I work a 9 to 5 for. I say 9 to 5. It's a lot more than that, but you know what I mean. I actually made a video on why I opened a SIPP, what a SIPP is, what to look for when choosing a platform, comparing SIPPs to workplace pensions, and what's right for you. That video will be coming out next week, so be on the lookout for that. But the two updates are, I paid myself a dividend, which has now lost a lot of money, unfortunately, and I opened a SIPP, which once again, I'm investing into the FTSE Global All Cap, and that probably also has lost a bit of value. But the overarching message here, whilst it doesn't look for pretty reading, I'm not concerned. I'm still going to invest regularly, and that should be the same for you. Really diversifying, thinking long term, letting compounding do its thing, investing as much as you can every month are the most important things, and really the only things we can control. Knowledge. So it's almost best to ignore the market, ignore the fear, and just carry on investing regularly. That's what I'm going to be doing anyway. But thank you very much for watching this video. Let me know how your portfolio is doing in the comments below. I imagine also not brilliant like mine. That's just the way the market has been the last few months. But thank you very much for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.